Yep, that's came. Hey guys, Brandon here. Today is Saturday, and I have some errands to do, which means I get to drive the Tesla places. So, two things. So I have a battery-operated chainsaw that actually Lacey found at a secondhand store. I have a number of Greenworks tools, and she found a 18-inch, 80-volt battery chainsaw for a really good deal. And anyway, so I got it, but it had a bent blade, which I replaced. But I've noticed a few funny things about it. Like one of the nuts doesn't quite screw on correctly, and also the oil seems to leak from the chain oil reservoir. So I guess you can't get completely away from oil even in a battery operated chainsaw. Anyway, so about 20 miles from where we live, there's a store or whatever that does service repairs on these. The thing is still under warranty, so I'm going to take it up there, which is fine because that means I get to drive 20 miles each way. And then I'm also having the snow tires taken off the Tesla today, which I just realized I didn't bring my other tires, so I have to go home first to go get those. But that's later this afternoon, so I'm hoping that I can do an energy use run again. So I want to do my freeway lap with my snow tires and then do it again later this afternoon after I get my summer tires on and see if there's any difference. So hopefully I can get that in. It's 11 o'clock right now. I'll be at the repair shop in about 15 minutes. So I've got to drop that off, then drive back. I got to charge the battery at the supercharger, do my first round of tests, and then go to the tire shop, which is not too far away from where we live, so that should be fine. It'll be interesting because the roads are wet today. It's raining, so that's not ideal for doing efficiency tests because the wet roads are a little bit more sticky, and so it'll use more energy. But as long as the surface is consistent from test to test, it can still be somewhat meaningful, so we'll see. Alright, so I dropped off the chainsaw to have some service work, and now I am headed back to Grand Rapids to go to the supercharger because I am now at 20%, so I'm going to supercharge for a while, and then I'm also going to pump my tires up. What are we at right now? 42 and 43. So I got to pump those up. Since the tires are probably warm right now, I think I'm going to pump them up to 46 or 47 and do my test at that level. They're supposed to be at 45, of course, and that's a cold measurement. So when they heat up, they get a little bit higher than their base level. So it's probably purely unscientific, but I'm going to compensate for that. Yeah, and then I'll do a loop around my usual testing freeway loop, and we'll see how much energy it uses. Charging up at the supercharger, and as usual, nobody is here. And I am getting a whopping 100, well, it was at 14, yeah, 114 kilowatts. That is really fast. I started at 8%. That was like 60 seconds ago. Now I'm at 12%. So I'm charging at 344 miles, estimated miles per hour. That's really fast. So we'll see how long that lasts. It's probably charging that fast because I got here with a warm battery. I've been driving around, and yeah, so it doesn't have to do any preconditioning or anything. And it's also not hot. It's actually quite cool. It's 38 degrees, so overheating of the battery is not an issue. So battery's probably at ideal temperature, and it's like I said, I got here at 8%, so it's not you know, it's not too low. At the very bottom, if you start charging like below 5%, it has to kind of ramp up a little bit slowly, and then it just takes off. Until about, with mine, it noticeably slows down, probably around 35 or 40%. Whereas some of the bigger batteries, it'll charge on or past 50%. But once I get to 50%, I think my charging power goes down to like, I don't know, 50 kilowatts or 60, 65, I forget. But so I'm gonna charge until, I think I want to charge to 50%. So that's how I'd like to do the test. It is, I mean, that's the charge level I'd like to do my next test. Whoopsies. It is 12:13. My tire appointment is at 1:30, which is plus or minus. I don't have to get there like immediately. Yeah, so. All right, 12:35. We have 53%, so it is raining. Hopefully that will be constant next time I can do the test. And I'm setting climate to seat heater on, 70 degrees, and defroster. So, all right, here we go. All right, we're back. Let's check the stats. So, the usual 34.2 miles, and this time we use 14.4 kilowatt hours for a grand total of 422 watt hours per mile, which is high. Especially relative to the temperature. It's 40 degrees right now, which is not too cold, but it's very wet, and so there's a lot of extra friction on the road. Yeah, and that gets exacerbated at freeway speeds. So back at the supercharger, charging at 102 kilowatts, which is really good. And so I'm going to charge back up to 50, maybe 55%. And then, yeah, head back home. I have to go home to get the get the summer tires. Put them in the back before I can go to the tire place. I had intended to pump these up to 45, or actually a little bit above, but the the air thing right next door to here, which is over there, is out of order, so I ended up just doing it at what they are right now, which after driving around, so when I left, I think these two were like 42 and these two were 40, and you can see once it warmed up, it's leveled off to 44 each. So, I mean, that's pretty close, I guess. Probably if I had pumped them up to a cold 45, they'd be around 47 now or something like that, but oh well. Close enough, because that's what we have to work with. All right, just about ready to leave. It's 1:21. I've got 55% on the battery. I'm still charging at 62 kilowatts. It was at 70 when I hit 50%, so pretty good charging speed. All right, summer tires are back on. So time for test number 2. First things first, now we charge up a little bit. Make sure the battery's in prime condition, so I'll probably just go up to 50%, maybe 51, and then head out. So here at the supercharger, there's a black So 34.5 miles, 12.7 kilowatt hours for a whopping total of 367 watt hours per mile, which is significantly better than previously with the snow tires. What are some differences? First, tire pressure. These were filled to 45 after the tires were changed. So, and as I suspected, once I drove on them for a while, they would get up to 46, 47. My other tires got up to 44, so there's about 2 or 3 PSI difference. Temperature is about 5 degrees higher right now. And that's about it. It might be a little less wet outside, but it's still rainy and wet, and there's still water on the road. So surface tension probably shouldn't be that significant. I didn't use the heater quite as much. I think for about half of the time I had the AC on with the same settings as before, just maybe not as much. Here's somebody checking out the supercharger stalls. Maybe a Model 3 reservation holder. So I hope that was interesting. I think it did show that the snow tires are a little bit less energy efficient in terms of road resistance than summer tires. So I've just noticed that this black Tesla, first of all, it's still here and charging. It's from Wisconsin, which is where K-Man Auto is from. It also has a hitch, which you can't do officially, and I'm pretty sure he put a hitch on his. And it's also got these older more drag efficient wheels, which are also old. So I'm wondering if this is K-Man Auto on a trip here. Out here, I thought it's a 90D, which I think is what his replacement Tesla is, but this is the pre-facelift, so I can't remember if his is. Yep, that's K-Man Auto.